Good evening, YouTube. This is Kaylin String coming at you with my regular Sunday night dinner. And tonight is a ration that was given to Aletha by Mike Crusher, and then Aletha brought it to me. This is a Polish single meal SR4 menu 4. This is beef goulash. And this ration has a trilingual label, so it's in Polski or Polish, English, and then French. There is peat and spicy tuna rolls in the house. Thanks for dropping in. So this has a best buy date of 21. I'm assuming that the European date style where this refers to the date, this refers to the month. So May of 21. This is a production code, but I'm not sure if it's a date. But I'm going to go on the fact that this might be 2019 ration. Let's see, there is Mike and Carla in the house. Thanks for dropping in. That's right, Mike. I'm going Polski tonight. So I got the water on the stove coming up to a boil. This bag has the tear notch like what used to be, or I thought it had one, maybe not. Some of these have had the tear notch like the Lithuanians where they would have the old brown bag MREs had. But this is double sealed, so there's a seal here and a seal down here. So there's no tear notch, but I got the cheaters. I'm going to go ahead and just cut this open. I'm sure the person out in the field would just pull out their knife to cut it open. Sorry about bumping the camera mount, but so here is the accessory pack right off the top. This is a different style of accessory pack than what used to be in here, and this does have a tear notch, so I'll open that up in a bit. One of two pairs of tank treads, pans or plates, whatever. This is honey, and it's a dark honey. I think now the newer rations, they put this inside of a plastic bag so that in case it pops, it's... Here is the other pair of the body armor. This is, these are sprats, which is a kind of a fish. There is corn-fed experience. I'm not sure how many of you three are there, but the McCains. So they are here in Iowa. Smoked winter sprats. Oh, okay, cool. So rub, and then here is the spoon and a napkin. Here's a straw, which was already bent, but I won't be using that, but I will save it. Let me deal with this. Bye-bye. So I had to take out the trash. But anyway, here's a straw. This is a pear flavored cereal bar. The shininess makes it hard to show on camera. And here is the main itself, the Goulash, 300 grams. It's a cardboard sleeve that is over this thing, and this took a bit of a hit. But because this is an aluminum, basically like a foil pan, this is easy to bend back out. So yeah, I'm bending the sides up a little bit so that way when I go to peel this back, it should be easier to come off. This has a Best Buy of July of 21. Let's see. And then the last thing in the bag, which will serve as my trash bag, we got a lime drink mix. It's like a lime flavored instant tea. And then here, in this cardboard sleeve, which has the instructions, is a flameless ration heater with a big old pad. Of course, I will not use this because I'm inside. I can put it on the stove. Plus, I prefer to save the FRHs until I absolutely have to have them. Get a pretty decent sized napkin. It's not as thick as a Canadian paper towel. It's a pretty good sized spoon. Of course, I won't use that because I'll use my Foreign Emery's fork. I use ration bags in my trash bag as always. Oop. This is a packet of salt. And a little packet of pepper, which all rations should have. Got one vitamin C candy. The 24-hour rations will have 2 of those. My favorite coffee candy. And then we got the Be Fresh wet wipe. The piece of gum. It's 2 pieces of gum in there. Xylitol mint. And here, this is what it refers to as toilet paper. And then a big bag that you can use for trash or unused items to save for later, or if you need to purify some water. This did not come with a coffee. It only comes with the instant tea. Out in the field, you would make this in the bag, and you could, after you shake it, you could slip the straw in it, close the bag up around the straw. But of course, I'm not going to be doing that. It's the big granules. I'll go with about that much. Because this is lime, it will be a light color. And the green tea extract. I can get myself a drink. I even brought a sweetened condensed milk in case there's a coffee in here. What I am going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put this in the water to boil, and I can get a G7, or I can get another coffee, or I got something that I thought about just doing a separate video on, but I could just go ahead and test it tonight just for something a little different. Anyway, I'll be right back. Here we go. I am back. I found this. Did not show it in my shopping haul, but this is 70% off of its normal price. It was a closeout item, I guess. There was a zip tie on here, but I actually popped it off without having to even cut it. What this is, it's a collapsible mug. It has this plastic ring that allows you to hold it. And of course, inside you get packet of hot cocoa mix, but this is collapsible. Collapse it even more, but of course I'm going to pop it back out. When I saw this in there, I thought, wow, that would be great for camping. I can put it in my pack. It'll take up less space. And I can still have something to put a hot drink in. So anyway, now that I got the cocoa mix in there, I'll go get the water and I'll be right back. Being silicone, when you're stirring it, this is also a lot quieter because you can barely hear. I'll put the top on so I can retain the heat. See, this part is hard, just like the lid and this removable ring. But this allows you to hold it. Anyway, I will put that back there. And I'll start opening the rest of the stuff up. I have not had this pear flavored bar before. This is rice paper, because this bar is sticky. This rice paper allows you to hold it and make it easier to get it out of the wrapper. I'm going to open up this honey. It has crystallized. But that is perfectly fine. There is Aletha in the house. Thanks for dropping in. I just licked it off of here. That honey tastes pretty darn good. I will open up one of these. I'll go ahead and put those here. So tonight is a Polish SR4, the beef goulash. And I'm testing out this collapsible mug that I found at Walgreens for like 70% off original price. I don't even remember what that was. Now I'm opening up the sprats. This paper label on top of the tin lid. So they are in oil. I don't know how well this is going to focus. So that is what the sprats look like. They definitely smell smoky. I'm giving the lime tea another mix. Those dark specks are caraway seeds. Sorry about this, thing shakes. I'm going to go ahead and take a taste of this pear cereal bar. The pear is definitely there. There is Quint in the house. Thanks for dropping in. I'm scrolling back through the chat just to make sure that I'm caught up on everybody who's in here. Looks like I am. So this is a Polish SR4 menu for the beef goulash. I could have done that lime tea hot, but I like it cold, so I'm going to go ahead and take a drink of this cocoa, but might still be too hot since I poured boiling water in there. Actually, I'm gonna take the lid back off. Yeah, I'm gonna wait a little bit before I take a drink of the cocoa, but I'm gonna keep the lid on it. Definitely taste of lime in that. I'm going to go for a piece of one of the sprats. That's a pretty soft fish, and the smoke flavor is really, really strong, but it really doesn't overpower the fish at all. Now this is a straight up olive oil. That's what the sprats are in. I'm going to go get the goulash and I'll be right back. I am back. I'm using a paper towel to dry it off. When I took it out of the water, I noticed that there was an odd color coming out, so in the water itself. But when I looked at the tin, I did not see any leaks. There is Wyoming in the house. This tin did take a bit of a hit, but it is smelling good. I'm going very slow with this because I don't want to shoot it all over the place. Now time to see what this goulash looks like. It's a bit saucy, that's for dang sure. I'm going to bust up one of these, stick the pieces in. Big old chunk of beef. That beef is not dry at all. It's very soft, but it's not overly processed. And And you definitely get the tomato in there, like a stewed tomato. But there is no other kind of rice or pasta in here. It's a lot like the goulash that was in the shooter's ration that I did back in December, which was supposed to be the Arpol off-road ration, but the seller sent me the wrong one, and I never got a response. I think putting the crackers in there will give it a little extra something. But these nice pieces of beef in here, they're really good. I'm leaving this in the tin because this is so saucy that I'm afraid that it might overrun this tray. And I really don't want to do that. There is Blind Fox in the house all the way from South Africa. And for those that just came in, there is a Sleepy Dog Construction checking in with the super chat saying hello. You should check out the Sleepy Dog's latest video on the townhouse build. It's looking really good. But this is a silicone collapsible travel mug that came with a packet of hot cocoa mix. This ration did not have a hot drink of any kind. So I thought about doing that in a separate video, but nah, I'll just go ahead and grab it. The cracker pieces are starting to soften up. But because this honey is crystallized, it really wouldn't spread too well. So I'm just going to scrape it up like that. I like the Polish honeys. This one's a really good one, even though it is crystallized. And it's in a pretty sturdy plastic instead of the little like the really thin foil tins like this is in. And this over here is the smoked sprats. It's a small fish about the size of a smelt. Yeah, me too. This is like eating candy. And I'm going to give a close-up of the sprats. The smoke flavor and the scent are very strong. Oops, sorry about that. Trying to... But there's a lot of oil in here. Even though the smoke flavor is strong, it does not overpower the taste of the fish. This ration came with 2 of these 2-packs. I just opened up one for now. And this is a pear-flavored cereal bar with the rice paper on the outside. But this is the Hungarian style goulash. It's got to be one of the better ones that I've tasted. I didn't even see what. See, yeah, the sprats are a European fish. I think over here, probably the closest would be like the sardine or the herring. Or the smelt. That's pretty much about the same size. There is Doxy Mom in the house. Thanks for dropping in. Oops, upside down. This is a Polish single meal SR4, menu 4. It's got the smoked sprats, the beef goulash, which I added pieces of one of these in. This dark crystallized honey is really good. A pear cereal bar with the rice paper on it. Let's see, there's Shocker in the house. This is a lime flavored instant green tea. So that's why it's so light, because it's green tea. This came with no hot drink, so I found this at Walgreens for 70% off the original price. And that was the only one left till I grabbed it. This is a collapsible mug with a removable grip ring. So the top is hard, the lid is hard, except for this. Oops, sorry about that. And it came with a packet of hot cocoa in there, so I decided, well, what the heck? Instead of doing a separate video on this, I'll just bring this out. You know, the Nestle Hot Cocoa is your standard hot cocoa. There is Sunshine Side of Life 77 in the house. Thanks for dropping in. But I am definitely enjoying this beef goulash. I have found a canned goulash in Walmart in the ethnic section of the store, where I can get things like the halal versions of Spam, or I can get some of the Zayed brand seasonings and other things. That's why I found that box of the Freekeh wheat. I found that at Walmart. And it looked like someone had torn open the box to see if it was loose in there, but it was bagged. Either that or it got cut, but it was never taped up. So I just found it as is, and I went ahead and bought it anyway. Because I knew I would be repackaging it for long-term storage. Which is what I did. Yeah, they pack these sprats in here pretty tight, but after you start to get one of them out, then it's easier to come out, but they flake apart pretty easily. Awesome, Rachel. That is some good news. That's got to be a load off your brain. Just for the sheer heck of it. I put some of the honey on the pear bar. It adds a sweetness, but that pear flavor is so strong in there. There's bits of pear. Oh yeah, I have eaten sardines. In fact, I have some in my apartment. I prefer them flavored or smoked, as in the case of these sprats. I picked up a Yeah, these fall apart pretty easily. Oh yes, Carla, they are good. Yeah, I wouldn't. Let's see, I'm reading what Chaka wrote about. Yeah, I'm sure those pups can be pretty picky, but I would probably not give them anything like this with all this oil. And the smoke flavor might be a bother to them too, so probably want to be careful about what you're giving them. Now, these would be a good size for them, I'm sure. I think because of the smoke flavor, the kitties here are just not going to have it. Mila is asleep on the bed. Yes, I have had the Spanish squid. And if that's the same one where they pack it in its own ink. Yeah, I have had that one, and I thought that one was pretty good. Yeah, it was a bit rubbery, maybe overcooked, but it was still good. I still ate it all. Let's see, there is that in the house. Thanks for dropping in. First time I've seen your name in the chat. I busted up the other piece of the other cracker. And I'm soaked that in the sauce. Yeah, it takes some effort to break these things. I love some crab legs. We had those on Mother's Day last year when one of my sisters went. She picked me up, and then we went over to the seafood joint to pick up the food. And we had a seafood boil, but they put, they did two different ones for our order. One with cut up sausages in it and boiled eggs. And then the other one was a traditional seafood boil with just the crawfish, the crab, the mussels, you know, the cut corn cobs, the potatoes. But that was some good stuff. Yeah, I would stick to putting the Vegemite either a little bit on your bread or cracker, or use it instead of salt in a recipe. In fact, the jars even say you can do that. You can use it as a seasoning in a recipe. Well, thanks to Rachel, I have a jar of Vegemite and a jar of the Marmite. And I did a video comparing the two. And I did it on pilot bread crackers. I figured that would be the best thing to put it on for that video. Thanks for dropping in, Shocker. Hope to catch you another time. Delicious was live yesterday on his channel. And at the time, it was pretty late in the evening there in Poland, since that's where he lives. But he opened up some cans of meat that are similar to what has been in rations or could be in rations. And he opened up a few other items. He even showed, although he didn't open it, he showed a jar of Tushanka that he made himself. He found a recipe for making the Russian style Tushanka, and he made it. Yep. I'll probably save the rest of these for my lunch tomorrow. And Doxy Mom also heading out. Thanks to both of you for dropping in. For those that didn't know, Doxy is short for Dachshund. And they have dachshunds at home. Goofy little pups. And there is Zed dropping that super chat. Yeah, thanking me for the stream. That's super chat is much appreciated. Again, this ration was given to Aletha by Mike, and then Aletha brought it to me. So I'm very grateful to have this ration. Plus some of the other ones that they both offered up to me. And thanks to Tracy Phillips, I have one of the newer HDRs, Humanitarian Daily Ration. That's in that salmon pink colored bag. So 2 different companies have packed those. And so there's a little difference between the 2 of them. But I will probably do what everyone else has done with them, is just, I will heat up both entrees. You know, I'll open up, if there's 2 jams, I'll just open up one, because no sense in opening up both of them if they're the same. Steve 1989 got a hold of one several years ago, but they are extremely rare. One time I saw them on eBay, but those were a lot more expensive than the Australian CR1M. And those are pretty darn expensive if you can get a hold of them. Now, thanks for dropping in, Zed. And again, thanks for that super chat. That's much appreciated. So I do this every Sunday at 7 p.m. Central, which is 8 Eastern. Except when I'm either out of town or when Ramadan starts, I will delay my stream till just after sunset, because I fast during the daylight hours. So my streams can be well after 8 o'clock. When the Ramadan is in the middle of summer, I wouldn't eat my dinner till almost like 9:30 or something like that. Or even 9:45, which would be about the time I ate supper when I was in Mexico back in '86. Because the tradition there is you eat your lunch between 2 and 3 p.m. and then you don't eat dinner until at least 8:39, something like that. Of course, you could get a snack in between, and I did that. I did get the snacks either at the school that I was taking classes at that had a little snack bar. I could get a yogurt or something, or I'll go to a little bodega near the house that I was living in and get me an Aga soda, apple flavored, and a bag of the ketchup and lime flavored corn chips. And that was pretty much enough to hold me over until supper, which was the supper down there would be like lunch here. So lunch is the main meal of the day, the biggest meal. And then supper would be a lot lighter. Oh, the Aga brand that I had down there was really good. Unfortunately, I have never seen that again. I look for it on Amazon. I look for it in the Latino stores here. Have not found Aga, so I don't even know if it's in existence. I'm sure a lot of things have changed in Mexico, food-wise. I was down there, and we ate a lot of bananas. As the couple that we stayed with, they got 2 huge bunches of these super long bananas that were longer than this. And they were super sweet. When I first saw them, they brought them in, they were all green, so only a few of them had started to ripen. I thought, oh crap, am I going to eat bananas 3 or more times a day for the whole month? But no, they didn't ripen that fast, but we got to have a few of them while we're down there. And they were just kept in the corner of the kitchen by the back door to the patio. I'm thinking that was a summer flavor because I have not seen that since summer. I think I had it one time. Yeah, I thought it was pretty decent as far as Mountain Dews go. But I only had it the one time. I never got it again. And I have not seen it for a while. Once in a while I'll get a Dr. Pepper, but most of the time I grab a cherry Pepsi. But sometimes I might get something a little different. Even I gotta change it up once in a while. I'm guessing sea bean is probably related to kelp. It's an ocean plant. I don't know for sure since I've never heard of it until just mentioned it, but I'm guessing that it's probably somewhat like kelp and it probably grows in similar conditions. The nori or the seaweed sheets that are either used for sushi or used to make those little seaweed snacks. I get those once in a while, not all the time. Yeah, it'll get, because it's in salt water, it's going to taste salty. Well, that'll do for the goulash. There's James Ortiz in the house. Thanks for dropping in. This one is beef goulash with smoked sprats. I probably ate a third of these, but I'm going to save the rest. And what I'm thinking I might do is I might do a ramen tomorrow. And I might add this to the ramen. I had 2 packs of these. I only opened up one. I'll probably just bust these up into a soup another time. And this is the pear bar. Really strong, natural pear flavor. These cereal bars. And this dark crystallized honey, it's really good. This ration didn't come with a hot drink, so I decided to bust out something new to test out. Collapsible reusable mug. And this was, I don't even remember what price I paid, but it said like 75% or 70% off. It collapses down to that much. There was a zip tie around here, and I managed to pop that zip tie without having to cut it. So I salvaged that zip tie. But it came with this packet of cocoa mix, so I figured, what the heck. I think this might have been a Christmas holiday leftover that the store had not sold, and I saw it in there. You know, I'm going to get it. I figured this would be good for camping. So it's got this flip top like, you know, the travel mugs do. So this is silicone. This lid and this top here are hard. And then it has this removable grip ring. And I'll unscrew the lid. And it is soft silicone inside of this hard ring here. So this probably holds. When I filled it, I just filled it up probably to the bottom of this plastic part here. Or maybe a little higher. But I could probably do maybe 10 ounces in here. When I saw that, I figured that'll be perfect for camping because I can collapse it. It'll take up a lot less space in my pack than any of the other mugs that I may take for camping. Yeah, I mean, this is an adult sippy cup, basically. But you can put hot or cold drinks in there. It's not really an insulated mug, so it doesn't hold in the heat like a traditional insulated mug might, but since it's collapsible, I figured that would be the perfect thing for camp. In fact, I will take it on my next trip instead of one of my other mugs that cannot collapse. Of course, I'll wash it first, but when I'm looking for, when I'm shopping for certain things, sometimes you just find these little gems, and I think this is one of them. I had never seen this anywhere before. You know, I've seen collapsible cups that do not have a top or even a hard piece like this or this grip ring. So I just had to have it, and at the price that I paid for it, which is probably 70% off of whatever this normally went for, plus a packet of cocoa mix. Why not? Because it's silicone, it's it doesn't weigh a whole lot, and you don't have to worry about it breaking. This Polish lime tea is pretty good too. Bird fight. That doesn't sound good. The chickens? Or just some birds outside causing a ruckus? Wow, that's a score. Thanks for dropping in, Rachel. Hope to catch you another time. Pumpkin would probably be the one who would show most interest. She's 2 years old, so she's a lot more active. She's more interested in stuff going outside, going on outside. Mila, she's 18. She sleeps a whole lot more. There's Hugo Homestead in the house. Thanks for dropping in. I ate all of the beef goulash. I busted up a couple of these in there. These hard caraway seed biscuits. Special biscuits is what this roughly translates to. These are the same ones that are in the Lithuanian rations, except in the Polish rations you get them in packs of 2. I ate the pear-flavored cereal bar. These are smoked sprats, which is kind of like a herring or a sardine or a smelt or something along that line. The smoke flavor is very strong. It's even infused into the oil. But the taste of the fish is still there. The smoke flavor does not overpower the fish. But I think I'm going to put the rest of those in some ramen for my lunch tomorrow. And then this honey was crystallized. It's a dark honey. It tastes a whole lot better than a lot of the commercial honeys that we get around here. Of course, it all depends on the flower that the bees are going to when they collect the nectar to make the honey. So I obviously did not use the salt or the pepper. Of course, I saved these. This had the xylitol mint gum. And then one of the vitamin C candies. I'm not sure which flavor this one is, so I'll suck on these later. But this coffee candy is my favorite coffee candy out of the ones that I've tried. And unfortunately, you cannot buy this online outside of getting rations. But you get one of these Be Fresh wet wipes, a nice big bag, and this, according to the label on the outside of the bag, is toilet paper. It kind of looks like cheap toilet paper too. Of course, I'll keep this, like I keep all of the rear rolls that I get in the USMREs. So this napkin I'll save. You even get a straw in a Polish ration. This will go into my bag of straws. Oh, speaking of jalapenos, I haven't done it yet, but I have 3 jalapenos and 3 Anaheim chiles that I'm going to cut up and put on my dehydrator and dehydrate those. Yeah, I call these, or the ones that you get in the USMREs, the Lighthouse rolls, I call those rear rolls. You know, just to be different. I mean, you can use those tissues for anything you need it for. Even a fire tinder, but I just choose to call them rear rolls just to be different. But next week, I will go back to doing a USMRE. I have finished off all of the ones that Aletha gave me that were 2012, and that last one was a 2013. And recently I had seen someone mention that there was beef in tomato sauce emery that's in the newer lineup. So when I did my foreign emery order, I ordered one of those, so I have that. I figured I'd go ahead and give that one a try. I'm not sure which menu that one replaced, but it sounded pretty interesting, so I figure why not? Now you get the actual full-size tissue packs in British rations. You get a smaller version of it in at least the French RCIR. And I think there's another country's ration where you get a tissue pack that would be probably more than this. Well, then I guess according to Mike, I made a good choice by getting that one. But that one will probably come up a little later in the order, because I want to do some of the other ones first before I get into ones like that one. Yeah, that one is a new menu, I think from 2019. And it probably replaced some other menu that used to have that number before. Of course, I have never, I personally have not opened up a full case of standard MREs. Only full case I ever had was the Sapaco low sodium ones that had an inspection date of 2016. They're produced in 2012. But I didn't get all of the menus that could have been in there because I got duplicates of all but one of them. So that case didn't give me enough video fodder as I hoped it would, but I'm still using that box. In fact, I use it to keep my rations in that I have up for review. And if I run out of space in there, then I stick them in my soft-sided Coleman cooler. Oh, wow. Unfortunately, I do not have the money to get that. Otherwise, I would be on that. And it would have been nice to get in on those newer HDR cases. You're paying more for the shipping than for the actual box itself. Yeah, every year or 2 or 3, they'll drop a menu, replace it with something else. I heard some noise that the fettuccine, the spinach fettuccine got the shove off and got replaced with something else. I do have a spinach fettuccine emery. Bye bye. Now, some people like it. I actually like it, but I like to add something to it. I think the last time I opened up one of those, I added a pouch of the chicken chunks to it. I put the chicken chunks down on the tray and then I put the spinach fettuccine on top of that. Yep, that trash has been taken out. Yeah, I think, well, the fettuccine noodles are really soft like all the other pasta ones. And the spinach flavor is pretty strong in it. But I think it just lacks a little something that even salt and pepper can't add. So putting the chicken in there made it a whole lot better. I really enjoyed it that time. Yeah, see, I think I have that one too, or I've already eaten that one. I would have to go through my box. But it may end up going, if it does go away, it'll probably be one of those that are like the tomato feta emery that had actual feta cheese in it. But you couldn't see it because it was all melted and fully incorporated into the sauce. But Aletha had given me that one. And I really enjoyed that one. I think that one would be good on chicken as well. Yeah, I love feta too. When I worked at a Greek restaurant, I was able to get my fix of it because I was the salad maker. You know, when I wasn't washing dishes, I was knocking out the salads. I was serving up the desserts. And just, you know, sometimes helping the cook make some of the entrees for pre-prep. But that was back in the late 80s that I did that. But we went through probably at least one 5-gallon bucket of feta a week. Wow, that's... That's a pretty darn good employee discount. If you worked at the Cheesecake Factory, that would be a dangerous thing, no doubt. I still have that other halal emery, which is a newer one. That I opened up when I did the comparison between the older packaging and the newer one. But even all the snacks in that older one were in the same color packaging as in the standard emeries and the newest versions of the halal emeries that are in the same type of bag that would be an AmeriQual inner bag. Yeah, we served cheesecake at the Greek restaurant, but it was a commercially produced cheesecake that we would just buy a couple of them at a time and keep them in the freezer until it was time to serve them, and they came pre-sliced. So all we had to do is just take a slice off the cardboard disc, pull the paper away, and then put the sauce on it. The only dessert that was homemade or made right there on site was the baklava. That was the other dessert that we had was baklava. And of course the edge trimmings were the kitchen snack. Well, that's good, Carla, that you're able to do that. Now, before we had to stop doing meals at my mosque, some people would just bring in just a bunch of random food in boxes or bags and just leave it. And then I would sort through it. And if it was something that we could use there for a meal, then we keep it. Otherwise, if it was something that we would not use, or if it's only, say, like one of something that's like a single can of something that we may use once in a great while, or if it's something that would be totally useless, then I would take those away. Or someone would bring the wrong kind of rice because we use almost exclusively basmati rice. Maybe some members might use jasmine rice, but they would cook that at home and then bring it. But usually it's basmati rice that everybody wants. Oh, yeah, those gooey butter cakes. I got to try some of the other flavors. Last year, for my birthday, I bought the espresso chip, but I almost didn't get it because someone let a FedEx delivery driver in, and it was put in an apartment that was being renovated. And the maintenance guy went in there to either put something in there or to get something out of there, and found my box and brought it to me. Otherwise, I could have lost out on my birthday cake. And I was glad I didn't have to contact Marilyn and say, someone nipped my birthday cake or threw it away or something like that. Yeah, I'm glad that maintenance guy found it before it either got stolen or trashed. Oh, that one sounds good. And I had also bought 2 bags of the coffee that were in that same box. So it was those holiday blend coffees that she had on sale at the time, and I got one of each. And that was some darn good coffee. You can get it 2 ways. You can either get the pre-baked ones, and they are vacuum sealed before they're shipped, or you get the mix and you make it yourself. And those are the 2 ways that you can get those gooey butter cakes. And I think she does 2 sizes of them. I know she does the square pans like I got. And then I think there was, a 9 by 11 pan or something like that. I don't remember. But you could go to Allen.com and you spell out and. So that's the website. Yeah, you just go on the site and you can choose which form you want, the pre-made one or the mix that you do at home, whenever you want it. So you could store the mix until you actually need it. Yeah, I don't know if, I haven't been on there in quite some time, but the Park Avenue coffee, that would be the other route to go through. But I don't know which site she's doing it under, if she's been able to get the other one back up or what she's doing. But definitely check it out and see what she's got up as far as the butter cake flavors and the coffees. And no, I don't have a discount code. I'm not up there enough where I can get discount codes or affiliate links or anything like that. I just pass on the word that this is good stuff. Say, this is where you go get it. Yep, Cafe Bustelo is good. That's one of the few that you can still buy in the vacuum sealed brick. Funny, Carla. That's funny. No, I'm not trying to spam you with useless promotions. No, you don't see sardines, you see sprats. Smoked sprats. But if you're tired of looking at them, I can always move them off out of view. There. Now it's not so fishy. Yep. It's always good to learn something new. A Polish ration is probably the only way I could get actual sprats from Europe, unless I try to look for them online. But I do not. I think they're bone. I did not get into any bones at all, and even where the tail end, it's not crunchy. It's soft like the rest of the fish, and it may be also in the way they're processed. But what I might do, I don't want to lose this oil. I might drain it off and put it in a container and then save it. It's got the smoky flavor in that oil, so I would save it and maybe fry something in it. I mean, that's just an idea. I don't know if I'll do that or not, but. Well, Mila has finally come out. Yeah, it's a different sprout. He's not a fish. Yeah, Mila is, I'll take you off and you can. Mila. Mila, sweetie girl. You want to look? Look up? Mila? She's just not as active. Of course, when she's harassing Pumpkin, that's about as active as she gets. So she has been around a few years. She comes, she eats and drinks and relieves herself. She'll roam around a little bit, and she'll harass Pumpkin. And then she just goes back to sleeping on my bed when I'm not in bed. And then when I'm in bed, she wants to be there. When she was a lot more active, sometimes she would act like she's camera shy. Sometimes she would just want to ham it up. She used to love, if there was a helicopter flying over, she would go to a window and try to find it. Or she would even go on alert if there's a siren, like from a fire truck or an ambulance or a police car on the street. But she doesn't care about that. Fireworks don't bother her. She'll sleep right through a full-on fireworks show. Yeah, that is Pumpkin. She came to me last August, about maybe not quite a week and a half after I got back from our annual family trip. So I did not have time to try to figure out how can I do what the animal shelter experts call like a soft introduction. I don't have a separate room where I could have Pumpkin stay exclusively and maybe have some way where they could see each other, but not, Mila wouldn't try to go after Pumpkin, which she really doesn't attack, but she harasses. I mean, Mila can still move pretty fast when she wants. She just doesn't want to as much anymore. That's okay, Mike. I'm probably going to call this one good pretty soon anyway. But Mila will kind of yowl and hiss, but that's pretty much it. But then I will try to make that same hiss sound at Mila when she's doing a little too much. But they eat at different times, they drink at different times. So they pretty much worked out their own schedule, so to speak. But anyway, I think I'm going to go ahead and call this one good. And so next week it will be a USMRE. I'm just not sure which one yet. But it will be one of the ones that Aletha got me. Or brought, you know. Some of them could have been from Mike, some of them could have been just from Aletha, but anyway. Oh, there you go. Oops. That's the way to take out the trash. Yep. That's why I like having a few mods in here so that those nutheads can be taken care of. But anyway, I'm going to catch all on the flip side. And thanks for watching, and stay tuned for next week.